Hey everyone, my name is Nick Nabelski. I'm with AI Storytellers. We're creating a brand new second edition book. This is my book, Max and Nikki, The Adventures of Max and Nikki. And I am creating an AI version of my book, which is fully illustrated by me. It is written by me. As you can see, these are all my illustrations. And so now I'm taking the first edition and turning it into an AI version with a brand new artwork created by ChatGPT 2.0. This software that I'm using right now is Canva, and I have a template that I use over and over again for all of my books. It's so easy to use, and it is set up for 8.5 by 8.5 inches. It's a square book, and I have all my rulers come in. So if I go to File and Settings, you can see all of my rulers are showing. There's Show Rulers and Guides, Show Margins, Print Bleed, and this we're using English measurements. So when the image comes in, I have two options really. I can tell it ahead of time to put in to give it a half-inch margin around, but sometimes AI doesn't understand that, and it's just a lot of extra work. So what I like to do is just create images quickly. It does it for me, and then I do all the magic here in Canva. So if I were to take the image that this image, by the way, was uploaded. If I were to take this image and drag it to where I think it should go, 8.5 to 8.5 inches, that's how it would look. And first of all, what are we seeing right now? We're seeing a white box all the way around, which is actually this area, this little part right here it's a 0.125 inch, which is about like a 16th or an eighth of an inch. I think it's an eighth of an inch. Um, and this is called the bleed, right? This is the bleed. This very last edge before the black is the bleed. This part right where it's sitting at right now is called the trim. This is where the printer would actually take the giant blades and cut your book down to the perfect size. So we want to go beyond that. We want to go to this point right here. But if we were to do this, what would happen? We would get flagged by KDP. Why? Because the text and all of the graphics are way too close to the edge. And so we can't do this, right? So if we go back to our original size, which is right here, this is the size that it came in, roughly. And we do this really cool thing. We go to they have just an amazing set of tools in Canva. We can make sure that the image is selected. We go to Edit, See All Tools, and we want to click Magic Expand. Magic Expand is going to not crop it, right? Crop means to cut away. Expand means to push out. And we want to push this out to the edge or to the bleed. So we can either do freeform, which is move it this way, right? We can use whole page. The problem with whole page is it only takes it to the page, not to the bleed. Or we can do one-on-one. Now, one-on-one works or the freeform works because this is a perfect square, and so that will be good for us just like that. Now, what do? We just hit expand. We just hit expand, and I'm going to cover my cover. I'm using Panda for Skool right now to film this, so that was Claudio in the background. I just realized that he is waving to us. So now, what does it do? It gives us 4 options to choose from. These are all very nice images. You can see that it did perfectly what we wanted. It it just guessed what the rest of the image would look like. It brought the fence out all the way. It brought the rocks in the foreground. It brought the flowers out. And so all 4 of these are different setups. See, each one of these is different, and you decide what you want. This one is nice because it has lots of clouds in the sky. You have this one and this one. Now, when you're choosing, make sure you kind of think like an art director. Would it make sense for this one to work? Probably not. Why? Because there's a giant shadow here, and we have this little dog and a little ball, but this shadow just does not fit the contents of the page. It wouldn't make sense. So it has to be either this one or this one. That one makes probably the most sense. This one is really doesn't look as good, and so it'd probably have to be this one. Plus, this one has a lot of extra artifacts over here. It looks like some kind of words or something like that. We don't want to deal with that. and that has the same one. And this one seems to be the most perfect one, or this one. This one's really nice. And so I would choose either this one now or this one. And I've already decided to keep the top one. That is the one I'm going with. This one's very nice as well. And let's say, for instance, we didn't want to deal with some of the artifacts and we wanted to go ahead and say, okay, this is the one we want. We click on done, but we just notice there's a couple things that we just don't like and we want to fix. Well, the easy way to do that is go to Magic Eraser, which is a second tool that we're going to use today. We bring the brush size down and we just get rid of it. We just paint right over what we don't want. There's some kind of a strange little dots and doodads here. We can get rid of all these things that we don't want. And if there's anything here that looks out of place, we can click on that as well. And we just say erase. Now you might have to do this 2 or 3 times, but for the most part, it will handle it usually on the first try. That's the second tool. The third tool that you can use, we just got to click back here. The third tool we can use is something that's called Magic Layers. Magic Layers will take each of those images and create its own layer. So what does that mean? It's movable. Each one of them is movable. We can move it. Now for this video, I'm not going to show you how that works, but we're going to use something very similar. It's called Magic Grab. Magic Grab is something that we are going to select. These are called buttons. That's a button. This circle right here is called a button, and we are going to grab it. And reason for that is if we wanted to move it up into the upper right-hand corner, we could do that. We could bring it up here like so, make it smaller. It's kind of like a call out. The only thing you have to keep in mind is the part that is behind it. Is it too blurry, or is it, you have to think about that. But it does a phenomenal job. In fact, if I remove the dog and the ball, you would blend in the background seamlessly. You wouldn't even notice that there was a dog or a ball there. It just fills in the background perfectly. It does a tremendous job. I've already done that here. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to leave that the way it is right here. Like I said, I have a 1/2 inch margin. Let me just go back here and delete this image so I can show you again. This part right up here is the margin. And I should have brought that back. Right, this top part is the margin, and this top edge is the bleed. Bleed meaning it goes off the page, and the cutter or the printer will be able to cut that part out, and it'll look nice and clean. You'll have nice clean edges. I hope that's easy for you to understand. This is something I'm working on next. After this week, I'll be working on this. I'm very excited about turning all of my books into AI books. And that's, of course, something we'll be working on in June in the premium. So it's really exciting. I hope to see you then. Bye bye for now.